Today, I'm in a different location than I normally am, but I did want to drop in and just speak about something I shared the other day on my page, but God is calling you home. I wanted to talk about that. That was a very profound, what felt profound to me in the moment. I call it a divine download, where it felt like recently, within the last like maybe 3 or 4 days, God has just been telling me that life is really so much more simple than we make it. And, okay, sorry, I'm getting excited. Welcome. Thank you for being here. God has been telling me the last few days, life is so much more simple than we make it out to be. And there is a truth that exists that will set you free, that will set me free, that will set the world free. So, over the last year or so, I have been kind of just going through a deeper dive into my spiritual journey. And I've been just, I think, coming into a clarity of what truth is and how truth can show up in our reality. And for me, what truth is it's the essence of our creation. It's the essence of truth. And so what does that look like? I feel like there is a lot of distortions that exist on this planet. There is a lot of smoke and mirrors, if you will, and it's sometimes difficult to know exactly how to feel or how to show up. And God's light is just such a force. It really does bring us back to our center point. So something else that's been coming through, thank y'all for being here, is the spiritual battle and the spiritual warfare that's happening on this planet. I have been talking about this on my page for the last year or so, but there is an unseen force that is affecting everyone. And it is the darker energies that exist on this planet. There are different dimensions that we may not be aware of or that we cannot see with our physical eyes yet, but we can feel them. You may not fully be aware of them yet, but you can sometimes see them out the corner of your eye. But there are entities, I'm gonna just use that word for now. There are entities that exist that are utilizing our mental plane as a way to influence our daily lives. So this is something I've come to realize over the last year. A lot of our thoughts, a lot of our feelings, they're influenced by these entities. I'll use that word for now. That exist in our reality. And it's really deep because we don't really realize it, but I do believe that a lot of mental health challenges are influenced by these entities. A lot of addictive behaviors are influenced by these entities. I think over the next 50 years, that's just the random drop that came through, there's going to be more research into this spiritual element of our reality and how everything is showing up here. So I just wanted to say that if you all are resonating, definitely like, subscribe, and share this with a friend. But I think for me, the biggest thing that I've been realizing is that because we can't necessarily see these entities, we don't always know that they're there, but you can feel when you're being influenced by something beyond your own free will, because it'll feel almost like you're feeling something and you have a choice to tune into it or to not. And then all of a sudden, when you do tune into it, you just feel like it like sucks you in almost. And you almost don't realize how it's affecting you until maybe 30 minutes go by and you're like, all of a sudden I just feel so sad. All of a sudden I feel so depressed. All of a sudden I feel devastated. All of a sudden I feel anxious. All of a sudden I feel just like unworthy, right? And so, yes, some of that is just part of our emotions as humans, but there are entities that do influence our emotions. They influence our thoughts. And I feel like when you talk about a mental health challenge from a spiritual lens, a lot of people don't realize like that people who are struggling with mental health challenges that have gotten to an extreme place, they're dealing with a situation where something that's, I'm going to just say an entity, is utilizing that vessel to feed itself or to give itself some type of, it's a parasitic energy, so it's utilizing that. But it starts out with a thought. A lot of the time it could be genetic. I'm not dismissing science. I'm just offering a spiritual lens to this conversation. But it's this, and thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for showing up in this space. It's typically a mental health, when you go through mental health challenges, and they're prolonged for an extended amount of time. I like to use the word burrowing. That sounds really weird. But the entities that can kind of like make space for themselves in your field, eventually they will kind of like burrow deeper. And so that's why if you know anybody who has, I'm not necessarily speaking on any mental health challenge, but I'm talking about like a very severe mental health challenge where they've pretty much become someone else. They don't even act like themselves anymore. Typically, it's because the entities that are around them have burrowed so deeply that the person who is, I'll just say, being affected by the energy is no longer really there anymore. So a part of their consciousness and their awareness has left. So if you know people who have addiction and they're very, like, it can be a prolonged thing that maybe has been going on for years, but at a certain point, you may start to notice when you talk to someone who has an addiction, they feel like they're not really there anymore. Like you're talking to them and they're there with you, but it feels like there's a disconnect. It feels like they're not really present anymore. And it's really sad because you do go through a grief process when you love someone and you've seen them go through a journey like that, and then all of a sudden this person that you love is now navigating addiction and they're not really they're the same anymore. That is probably one of the most difficult things that I think I'm still wrapping my mind around, and I think a lot of people are, that when these entities decide that they're wanting to be in your field and let you be a parasitic being for them, they like to stay in places where people aren't necessarily aware of it. But there's hope. There's hope because you can pray, you can call in the light of God. Excuse me. You can ask God to help you. You can pray, you can call in the light of God as soon as you, first and foremost, you have to start your day protecting your energy. You have to start your day protecting your field, shielding yourself, praying, reinforcing your protections, getting creative with that. Think about however something else could like access you and just pray and seal yourself away from it. And then throughout your day, do check-ins with yourself, pray, clear your energy through the infinite light of God, and ask God to just clear it all and to do it in a way that doesn't cause harm to anyone. And yeah. And if you keep, so it's really just about spiritual hygiene. You keep doing that throughout your day. You keep checking in with yourself all day long. You do the same thing with your space that you live in and wherever you go, your car, wherever you live, or if you're not taking a car, you do it with your transit system. But you just continuously check in with yourself, and that is a way that you protect yourself, and it doesn't give these entities the time or the space to 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 basically stay in your space rent free because you're constantly clearing yourself. And that's what one of my mentors said. She said that a lot of this energy work is based on like passive permission. So you want to state when you do your protections that you don't give passive permission to these entities. You want to give yourself the authority over your sovereign field because it's your sovereign field. And you do that throughout your day. You do that, all day long. And you'll begin to see how much more clear your mind is. You'll begin to feel a lot lighter. You'll begin to just experience life in a way where you're protecting yourself and you're existing in a pure space that's really about you and your journey. So I just wanted to come on here and share this. I'm going to be talking more about these topics, and I am going to be dropping a link very soon for my community that I'm creating. It's going to be on Patreon, and I'm going to have a free community so we can all interact more, because when I'm on lives, I don't really read the comments or talk that much because I'm just trying really hard to not give my energy to too many different things. I just want to be present with what God is asking me to speak about. But when we're in that community, that's where I'll be more engaged and I'll be more present in that regard. And yes, that's gonna be good. So I'm gonna be dropping that soon. And then yes, that's gonna be really amazing. I will have a membership component that will be an additional investment, but that's not required. That's just if you want to go deeper and have some additional activities and resources. So I will be doing that, but that's all coming soon. Before that, I do still plan to go on YouTube and come on here and talk. I do still plan to show up. But I just wanted to come on here and let everyone know, there is hope. And if you have been dealing with mental health challenges throughout your life, or you know people that have been dealing with mental health challenges throughout their life, there is hope. And I do invite people to really tune into the spiritual aspects of it and how you can protect yourself. So thank you guys so much for being here. I'm going to save this on my page. God is calling you home. God is calling you back to yourself. God is asking you to tune back into your truth and to be in tune with the light and the love that you can have the capacity to hold and that you deserve to have the capacity to hold. I hope everyone has a great rest of their day. Bye-bye.